For 6 days, flames swallowed the greatest city on earth. Temples collapsed, statues cracked, slaves and senators ran screaming through the streets. And the man at the center of it all? The emperor, Nero. They said he played music while people died. They said he started the fire himself. And when the smoke cleared, he needed someone to blame. The scapegoat? A strange new cult from Judea. They called themselves Christians. It's the year 64 AD. Nero is 26 years old. He's been emperor for 10 years. Young, impulsive, and deeply unpopular with the Senate, but adored by the masses. Why? Because he gave them what they loved, bread and spectacle. He built theaters, funded games, and performed music on stage. Personally, to many Romans, this wasn't just untraditional, it was disgusting. An emperor wasn't supposed to dance and sing. He was supposed to conquer and rule. Behind the laughter, the knives were already being sharpened. On the night of July 18th, the fire began. In the shops of the Circus Maximus, a crowded wooden nightmare waiting to explode. Flames tore through the city with terrifying speed. Rome wasn't built to withstand fire. Narrow alleys, wooden roofs, oil lamps. It was a matchbox. The blaze lasted 6 days. Then it reignited and burned 3 more. Out of Rome's 14 districts, 10 were destroyed or damaged. The palace, unscathed. Nero, absent, or maybe not. And that's where the story darkens. Ancient historians like Tacitus, Suetonius, and Cassius Dio paint a damning picture. Nero watching the flames from his private tower. Nero singing of Troy's destruction as Rome burned. Nero dreaming of rebuilding the city in his own name. He even had blueprints ready. The Domus Aurea, the Golden House, a massive golden palace on public land. Coincidence or careful planning? Some say Nero ordered his guards to spread the flames. Others say he wasn't even in Rome, that he rushed back and opened his gardens to refugees. But truth was no longer the goal. Nero had lost the people's trust, and nothing is more dangerous than a ruler people stop fearing. In the ashes of the fire, Nero needed a scapegoat, someone strange, hated, suspicious. He chose a new underground sect, followers of a crucified Jewish rebel named Jesus. Christians were already viewed with suspicion. They didn't worship the Roman gods. They held secret meetings. They refused to bow to the emperor. To Rome, that was treason. Nero blamed them for the fire. What followed was one of the first official persecutions in Christian history. They were arrested by the hundreds, fed to wild animals in the arena, covered in pitch, and set on fire to light Nero's garden parties. It wasn't justice, it was a show. And it worked, for a while. Despite the violence, Nero's popularity never fully recovered. The aristocracy despised him. His mother, whom he had killed, had once warned him, "You will be emperor, but only briefly." He grew paranoid. He executed senators, poets, generals, even his own wife. And when governors in Gaul and Spain rebelled, the Senate declared Nero a public enemy. In 68 AD, he fled the capital, alone, abandoned. He tried to kill himself, but couldn't. A servant helped him drive a dagger into his neck. His final words, "Qualis artifex pareo?" What an artist dies in me. Oh, did Nero really start the fire? Tacitus, writing years later, admits the truth is unclear. Many believe the fire was an accident, but in history, truth is often irrelevant. It's the story people remember. And Nero's enemies, especially the early Christians, told that story well. They turned Nero into the Antichrist, a monster, the enemy of faith. For centuries, he was remembered not as a man, but as a warning. In that sense, Nero did burn Rome, because his name would forever be linked to fire, madness, and cruelty. Nero wasn't the first emperor to be cruel. He wasn't even the worst, but he was the first to fall so publicly, and so dramatically, in the eyes of both Romans and Christians. He tried to build a legacy through art. He ended up remembered for murder. He tried to control history, but history controlled him. Maybe Nero didn't light the match, but he never put out the fire. He only fanned it with arrogance, fear, and spectacle. And Rome, the eternal city, remembered that. Nero's death ended a dynasty, but it wasn't the end of emperors. Far from it. Another one would soon rise, one even crueler, even more feared, and far more forgotten. His name, Commodus, and his story is darker than anything Hollywood ever showed. Subscribe to Teduent and join me for that story.